Hello all, I am Pallavi Bhujbal, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Computer Engineering at AISSMS Institute of Information Technology. I welcome you all for this session. Today I am going to explain you about the data mining techniques and the results of data mining we are using nowadays. So we'll see first what is exactly the data mining, and the second we'll see the reasons why we are using data by mining in our day-to-day life, data mining software. So if we see the definition exactly what is the data mining here. So data mining is, or the knowledge discovery is, the database is a collection of exploration techniques based on the advanced analytical method and the tools for handling a large amount of information. So the technique can be find a pattern that may assist enterprises in understanding the business better and in the forecasting. So the data mining is exactly the collection of technique for effective automated discovery of previous unknown, novel, valid, useful and understandable pattern in a large database. The pattern must be actionable so they may be used in the enterprise's decision making. So this is our data mining thing. So as an example we see that the collection of data, that is exactly the data mining things, collection of techniques of efficient automatic discovery of previous unknown valid data, large database. So if you see, the conventional database system are often designed for day-to-day running of an organization and are called the online transaction processing OLTP system. So, for example, telecommunication companies, accounting system, or the bank's ATM OLTP system has got to be available day and night also. Such system could not be used for the complex query that a manager might require for gathering intelligence about the businesses. So since the OLTP we are using, system is using, are performance driven, many enterprises are deciding that another separate database is needed for the decision making. So these kind of database are called the data warehousing. So have you understood the what is the data mining and the data warehousing? Next we will see the reasons why we are using the data mining now. So there are several reasons to use the data mining techniques in our day to day life. In that is first is growth in data, second is decline in the cost of processing, third is growth in data storage capacity, then the competitive environment and the availability of data mining software. Sorry, yes. So we'll see these reasons one by one here. So first if we see here the growth in data, so this also one table, estimated number of credit card, debit card, phones in 10 major countries. Obviously in a earlier there has been a explosive growth in amount of data stored electrically that the world now generated. It is being generated from many sources, for example transaction, remote devices, websites and user generated contents. It is expected that this growth will continue because enterprises are collecting data with greater granularity and the frequency. So this is the reason the growth of data. If you see the example here, the table shows the total number of credit cards and the debit cards in 10 major countries. The total number of credit cards in 10 countries in 2010 was over the 5 billion. The number of cards continuously growing in some countries with the strongly growing economics and low use of cards. If you see the examples, Asian Pacific, Central, Eastern European, Middle East and the Africa, the number of cards growing in this 40% a year. So the number of mobile phones in also growing drastically. It has been reported that well over 200 million phones were sold in the India in 2010. The worldwide mobile phone market continued to grow, and it was reported in January 2014 that the sale of smartphone is 2013 grew 38.4% to touch more than 1 billion unit from 732.3 billion units in 2012. So this is the reason the data is growing up. So if we see the next reason, so why the data mining is using nowadays, so decline in the cost of processing. The decline in the cost of processing and increase in the processing power of digital technology during the 50 years, it has been quite extraordinary. By the Moore's law state that the amount of power in processor double approximately every 18 years, and this trend is likely to continue. Not only the processor cost but also the disk has been falling dramatically. In this figure shows how the price of disk has been falling since 2018. Sorry, 1980. A 1 giga disk. This is the graph which is shows from 1980 to 2010. And the cost of that disk. It shows the price of disk has been falling since 1980. A 1 gigabyte disk that used to cost almost $1 million in 1980s is not even available now. Larger disks are currently selling for as low as 1 rupee per gigabyte. Cheaper hardware makes it worthwhile to attempt the intensive analysis application that may not has been possible in the past. Although it should be noted that implementing data mining application can still be expensive. So this is another reason. Now the third reason is growth in data storage system. Oh sorry, data storage capacity. This is the third reason, data growth in data storage capacity. The that data has to be stored somewhere. Growing data has to be stored somewhere. Most enterprises choose a simple solution. They buy and install the additional disk storage to store it. So the annual disk storage cell have been growing strongly. If we see in this graph, annual disk storage graph here is given, and the byte and the production year is also given, and the size is also given here in the petabyte, exabytes and zettabytes. So in last 10 years, disk cell has grown by almost a factor of 1 billion millions. The annual disk storage sold in now approaching a zettabyte. This is shown in this annual disk storage cell graph. Now more than 100 gigabytes per person in the world per year. So one has to wonder that what all these storage capacity is used for. So there is no doubt the redundancy of data stored on the disk. So this is the third reason of why we are using data mining now. The fourth reason is competitive environment and the availability of data mining storage. And so the competitive environment is due to the increased globalization of trade. Business environment in most country has become very competitive. So without a doubt, the most efficient way to do this, make the most of the technology include in the data mining technology. In order to available to or to survive or to grow profitable and more profitable, seeking organization must seek a competitive advantage. So each enterprises wishes to create a sustain and competitive advantages, because every enterprise wish not only to survive but also gain the advantages against their rivals and can above the average profits. So for these they need lots of data to include into their data warehousing, into their data mining. So the competitive environment was the fourth reason. The last reason, fifth reason, is availability of data mining storage. Availability of data mining storage. Number of companies have developed useful data mining storage in the last several years. Companies that were already operating in the statistics software market were familiar with the statistic algorithm also. In that, I think SAS and SPSS are also are already included into statistical algorithm. So have entered the data mining field developing data mining software. There are many other software packages available. For example, Ghost Miner, yes, Ghost Miner also, and the Codestone, yes, for the as a application, that Ghost Miner is also is available, and the second one is Codestone. This is A, yes, Codestone, as well as some add-ons to the Microsoft Excel. So these are the softwares which are available on data mining softwares. So these are the reasons why we are using, why the growth of data mining, why the reasons we are using data mining in our software techniques. So in next lecture we will see the actual process of data mining. So thank you all. The next part we'll cover in the next lecture. In that lecture I will cover the data mining processes. There are several steps. There are 6 steps are included into our data mining processes. uh, 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 I will just introduce to you. The steps are requirement analysis, data selection and collection, cleaning and preparation of data, data mining, exploration and validation, implementing, evaluation and monitoring, and the last step was the result visualization. So these steps we are included into our data mining process, which I will cover in the